Why is a Pisces rising so experimental? Why is it that Pisces risings usually overthink their close relationships? Why do Pisces risings change depending on what environment they're in? Why does it seem like Pisces rising natives are able to talk their way out or wiggle away from or escape confrontation from others? Stay tuned as we answer these questions and more in today's video. Hello, all my little fishies. How are y'all doing today? Come join me today as we go to the depths of the sea and unpack the mysteries of what it's like to have a Pisces rising. Before I get started, I know my Pisces rising friends can be such creative individual souls. They may just have this natural creativeness to them, whether it be writing stories or maybe some poems or songs or painting or sculpting, or maybe you do YouTube videos as well and you create your own graphics, or maybe you make your own jewelry. Being creative can manifest in so many ways. But I feel like my Pisces rising friends can appreciate the arts. So I wanted to share that I sometimes make videos on poetry that I read on YouTube. It's just something that I do for fun. In fact, the very first video I ever made was a video made to me reading a poem. Anyway, in that playlist, I have a poem written about Pisces risings that I feel sums you guys up beautifully. So if you are interested, be sure to check that video out. It's not a very long video. In fact, none of those videos in that playlist are very long, but I will leave a link to it in the description below. But in the meantime, what is my interpretation of a Pisces rising? Well, first, let's go over what the rising sign is. The rising sign is the same as the ascendant, and the ascendant is the sign that was rising on the eastern horizon at the exact time of your birth. So in order to know your rising sign, you will need to know your time of birth. The ascendant represents the lens in which we view the world and the lens in which others perceive us. And it will also set up your chart with its houses. So a lot of information can be discovered about yourself through the ascendant sign. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail about what the ascendant represents in this video. If you are a curious little critter like myself and you want to know more about the rising sign or what the ascendant means, then I invite you to watch my video called The True Meaning of the Ascendant. I am making this video to focus on what it means to have your ascendant in the sign of Pisces. There is a lot to unpack with this placement, so this may be a little bit longer of a video than normal, we will see. So Pisces in ancient times was ruled by Jupiter, but in modern times it is ruled by Neptune. And honestly, this makes so much sense to me. Pisces is a complex energy because it is deep. It's so deep and complex that two different planets' energies represent the sign, but yet explain the sign so well. We will get into mythology a little later on in the video. I love mythology stories. I think they are fascinating. But Jupiter is the planet of expansiveness and higher learning and spirituality. So you can find someone that has a Pisces rising may have a spiritual aspect to them, whatever it may look like to them. These people have a connection with the divine. They know they are special people and they were sent here for a special purpose. And most want to help humanity in some way. They are visionaries. They can have vivid dreams or dreams that have meaning or sends them messages. Remember, Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces, and Neptune rules over the subconscious and dreams. And someone with this placement, more so someone with Mars in Pisces, but really Pisces in any placement, sleep will be important to them. It is a way for them to connect to their subconscious. Someone with this placement can be naturally intuitive. They are great at meeting someone and getting a feel for them. And they can be extremely observant little fishies too. They watch everything and they can remember everything too. They can be observant of their environment and of the people who are important to them in their life. I do want to say before I go on in this video, your ascendant is just one small portion of your chart. Where someone's Jupiter and Neptune are placed will be important with this placement, as well as where their Mars is and how it's aspected. So this is a very general reading over a very general part of your chart. But Pisces rising natives can naturally want the people in their environment to feel welcome and included and comfortable. They are very empathetic to how others feel. For the most part, again, you have to look at the whole chart, but at least outwardly, these people will display empathy for others and compassion and a certain amount of sensitivity. That is why those with their ascendant in Pisces need their rest and relaxation, because they can pick up on energies as well. And if they are around a group of people, it can get exhausting because you are feeling and processing so much if you have this energy in your chart. Also, it may be hard for this native to discern between what is their energy and what are the energies that they are absorbing from their environment. This placement can struggle with an identity at some point in their life. I mean, they are used to ebbing and flowing, and they are somewhat a chameleon in their environment. Let's just say if they are in a group that is trying to decide where to eat, they will probably be down for whatever the group chooses. They do not exactly like confrontation, and they would prefer to just avoid it. Which, if they feel bullied, they can act out in these passive-aggressive ways. Or if they experience a breakup, they can be the ones who share the memes that's clearly about the other person on their social media, but they keep it where it actually cannot be pinpointed to meaning the ex or the person that hurt them. As with everything in astrology, there are evolved and unevolved states of every sign. An evolved Pisces rising learns their limits and their boundaries with things and stands up for them. And they get to this point in life, they may find themselves in situations where people try to push them over or use them. Early in life, they can attract some lost or broken souls that use them. Pisces is a very self-sacrificing sign. The fish is willing to be taken from its home for humans. Just think about it when we're fishing. Brought into the world that it's not made to survive in, and then it is used to provide nourishment for the human, whether the human appreciates it or not. Does that sound like a Pisces to you? These natives can also drown themselves in their dreams and their daydreams and emotions. That's why if you hurt them, they may text you a book to let you know. They can have so much swirling around them. I mean, they can have such a rich inner world. Whether it's for daydreams where they imagine being a hero, or their manifestations or meditations where they focus on what they want their life to look like or their visions. However this plays out, usually they have this vast inner world that few really know about. They can feel misunderstood at times. In fact, they can feel a lot of things. They can feel abused, unwanted, sad, alone, and even depressed. I mean, think of the fish that we humans used to eat. Imagine being used to keep a species going and never getting the appreciation that you deserve. Of course, you're gonna feel like a victim in some ways. You are literally giving up your life for these people to survive and carry on. You're giving the ultimate sacrifice and no one can return the favor to you. But that doesn't matter because Pisces risings, y'all are the kings and queens of the zodiac, hands down. I think of Neptune in mythology. He was the king of the sea, also known as Poseidon. So do you guys know Neptune's love story with his wife? Well, let me tell y'all, because it reminds me of such a Pisces thing that they have to do. Okay, so the story goes that Neptune, who was the king of the sea, met a sea nymph one day and he wanted to marry her, but she was so overwhelmed by his energy that she swam away and hid. Neptune had to send a dolphin to find her and to tell her that everything was okay and that he wasn't gonna hurt her and that he really did like her. And he basically had to coax her into coming back to marry Neptune. And this story reminds me so much of a Pisces rising because you can attract people that just aren't used to your good energy, can overwhelm them and they can run away. And then you are the one that is having to go chase them down and be like, it's okay, I'm not gonna hurt you. I know that everyone else has hurt you before, but I'm not. It's like finding an abused animal and having to coax them into trusting you so that you can rescue them, when the only memory that the animal has of humans is a bad one. It's like Pisces risings are here to break the stigma of humans being bad. And they want to show the world that there is still good left. And unfortunately, hurt people. So there's a lot of hurt people that can hurt a good Pisces. But even though it hurts, they still make the dang sacrifice again and again. They can be such giving souls. Speaking of giving, so I just recently hit 300 subscribers and I could not be more ecstatic. So I decided to celebrate and I'm gonna do a giveaway. I have this deck myself and it was so beautiful. I wanted to do a giveaway for somebody else to have this. It is a 52 card deck. It has affirmations in it. Absolutely beautiful, stunning artwork. Let me show you. This is from my personal deck. Here's some of the artwork and the messages that are in this deck is just, it's absolutely beautiful. The artwork is stunning. I love all of the colors. I'm a color person. I love Lily Pulitzer. So I'm all about these colors. And so you can just draw one however you want to do it. Let's draw one right now. Let's see what we get. But one lucky subscriber or commenter is going to receive this deck. So if you comment on any video, this is what came out. When I lead from a place of love, people respect me. What a great message. Somebody needed to hear that today. But anyways, you can win this deck, and at the end of November, I will draw someone out of the little jar and I will mail this to you, and you can have your own beautiful deck of affirmations. So be sure to comment, like, or subscribe to the channel to be a part of the giveaway. You know, there's a piece of advice out there in the universe that you are made up of the 5 closest people to you. And it's true, we are affected by those around us. But Pisces risings are affected even more. They can absorb energies of those around them if they are not careful. So make sure if you have this placement, you protect your energy. And really watch out who your main 5 characters are in your life, because you may find that your life mimics how theirs is playing out. So use that to your advantage. Someone with this placement can be quite experimental, and I mean that in every sense of the word. They are the ones that can dye their hair different colors or have different wigs. I mean, they can try out the pink hair, the blue hair, the mermaid hair, the unicorn hair, and they can be looking good doing it. They can be experimental in their sex life, never judging and always willing to try new things. They can be experimental with their children, maybe homeschooling their children or putting them in a Montessori school versus a traditional public school. They definitely are not afraid to experiment. That's why they can experiment with different substances. They are like the wizards of the zodiac. They experiment with substances so that they can connect with the divine or connect with the spiritual side of themselves. They also may experiment with substances to numb things. They like to experiment, and they can also like to escape. They are great escape artists. You may even find, if you have this placement, you are always looking at a way to escape a place, even if you don't plan to leave. Like if you go to a movie, you know where all the exits are and you have a plan if something goes awry. Or if you're at a party, you know how to leave if you need to. These natives aren't typically the ones that love big crowds and wild parties. They are more likely to be more open with those that are in their home and those that they are close to, rather than announcing things to the world. And usually someone with a Pisces rising is big on communication running smoothly in their household. At the end of the day, they want everyone to feel loved, and communication helps a Pisces meet your needs efficiently. One other thing I want to say about Neptune before I forget, he was known to have a temper sometimes, and he would get upset and he would cause storms in the sea and earthquakes. And this reminds me of a Pisces. They don't always have a temper, but when they do, their rage can cause destruction. They don't want to cause destruction. They want peace and love and happiness for every soul. So they may cry if they are hurt or if something feels out of their control and it's hurting someone else. The little fishies of the zodiac really do mean well. But Lord, their path isn't always easy, and it can be hard and exhausting. So it's possible that someone with this placement seems inconsistent, because their energy is going to fluctuate with this placement. And they also don't always know how they are going to feel at any given moment. So planning things can get hard. Someone with this placement can also come across as flaky to others because they don't want to hurt other people's feelings, but then sometimes they agree to things that they do not want to do, so they flake. Or if there is someone that makes them uncomfortable, they'll swim away to avoid that person. And to friends, one moment they may be there for you, and then the next, the Pisces rising has disappeared. When their inner world is calling, it's like they are removed from Earth and transported into a different realm. And they can't be bothered by these earthly things. So if you need them at that moment, they may be preoccupied. Someone with this placement may also struggle with listening to people speak. So if you are a Pisces rising, so how many times have you zoned out in my video and come back? It can happen in videos, but also when talking to somebody else. A Pisces rising may be having a conversation with a person only to zone out and to come back. But they are usually quite well at covering this up so no one notices. But yes, they may zone out when talking to you. They can have a lot of squirrel moments where they get distracted, but it's because their mind is full of this beautiful wisdom and stories because they are old souls. But that's what makes a Pisces rising who they are. So if you have a Pisces rising, let me know how it is manifested for you and what parts of this video resonated with you. I put out astrology videos every week, and right now we are doing a series of ascendants through the signs. Don't forget the giveaway. You guys are the very first ones that I shared this to. And like I said, I just now have 300 subscribers, so I'm not monetized yet. But if you are interested in supporting me and my channel, then I have created an Etsy store that has things added all of the time. From time to time, I do open up readings, and you can get a reading done there, of course, when it's open. There's also all kinds of cute and adorable things like a unicorn oracle box and even a very special Pisces box. So if you are interested, then go check that out. Anyways, thank you, my little fishies, for joining me today as we unpack your rising sign. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Mwah.